All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to be talking all about PegaCall. This is the tool that really transforms a standard customer service desktop into like a mission control center for every single phone call. We're going to see how it helps create conversations that are just smarter, faster, and way less frustrating for everyone involved.
You know that feeling, right? It's almost like a little bit of modern magic. You call a company, and before you can even get your account number out, the agent is already greeting you by name. They might even have a good idea of why you're calling. So, how on earth does that actually happen?
Well, the secret isn't magic at all. It's actually a really powerful digital bridge. And PegaCall, that is the bridge. It creates this totally seamless link between the telephony system, and that's just the fancy term for the company's entire phone network, and the Pega application, which is where all that juicy customer data lives.
Okay, so how do we actually build this bridge? It all kicks off with a piece of technology that's been the absolute backbone of modern call centers for years now. And that technology is called Computer Telephony Integration, or just CTI for short. The easiest way to think about it is as a universal translator. It lets the world of phone calls and the world of computer data speak the same language. It's the how behind an agent's computer being able to understand and even control what's happening on their phone. So let's trace the journey of a typical call, right? A customer dials in from the regular old phone network. That call gets routed into the company's internal phone system. You'll hear it called a PBX or ACD, which basically just juggles all the incoming calls. Then the CTI server steps in as the translator, grabbing all the data about that call. And now here's the magic part. It passes that data over to PegaCall, which instantly gets the agent's desktop ready with all the relevant info before their phone has even had a chance to ring. And what's really amazing is just how simple Pega makes this whole technical setup. You honestly don't need to be a telephony expert. It's a really straightforward process inside the application. You just go in, add a new CTI link, pick your phone system provider from a drop-down list, like a Cisco or an Avaya, and then you just pop in the connection details. And that's it, the bridge is built. So now that we've got that bridge built, let's flip the script and look at it from the agent's point of view, because their Pega desktop is about to get a major upgrade. Yeah, it's not just a place to look up information anymore. It literally becomes the command center for the entire conversation. Answering, holding, transferring a call, all of that can now happen right from the same screen they're already working in. No more juggling different apps. Now, companies do have a pretty important choice to make here. You can go with full telephony. And if you do, think of the Pega desktop as the all-in-one remote control for everything. Answering, transferring, you name it, it all happens inside Pega. Or you could opt for a simpler mode where Pega's main job is just to tell the system whether an agent is busy or free, and a separate app handles the actual call controls. It really just comes down to how deep you want that integration to go. This brings us to what is maybe the most critical moment of any service call, the arrival, that initial handoff. This is where PegaCall really shines, making that transition from the system to a human just totally seamless. And I love this quote from the Pega Academy materials because it just perfectly explains the whole concept. A screen pop isn't just a jumble of data. It's a cue card. It's a quick, easy-to-read summary that gets the agent completely up to speed for the conversation they're about to have. So what exactly is on this cue card? Well, all the essentials. The caller's name and number, obviously, their account info if the system recognizes them, and this is huge. It shows which menu options they picked in that automated phone system, the IVR. So the agent immediately knows, okay, this is probably a billing question. And for transfers, it even shows notes from the last agent, which is an absolute game changer for the customer experience. But you can actually fine-tune this whole experience even more with what are called call treatment settings. I mean, do you want your agents to have to click a button to answer, or should calls just connect automatically? Do you want that screen pop to show up and wait for an accept click, or should the customer's case just launch instantly? This lets you tailor the workflow to fit exactly how your team works best. And check this out. This is a fantastic, super practical feature. We've all seen it happen. An agent answers the phone, they start talking, and they completely forget to click the button to actually start the case in the system. Well, you can set a timeout. So if the agent doesn't accept that screen pop in, let's say, 5 seconds, Pega just says, I got this, and starts the interaction for them. No more awkward delays. Okay, let's talk about every customer's most hated phrase. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to transfer you. This is where a great CTI integration really proves its worth, because it's all about eliminating that horrible experience of a customer having to repeat their story over and over again. So Pega supports two main kinds of smart transfers. You've got your warm or consultative transfer, which is really the gold standard. This is where the first agent can actually talk to the second agent, brief them on the situation, and then connect the customer. But even with a blind transfer, where you just send the call straight over, all the case notes and context still pop right up on the next agent's screen. Either way, the information always follows the call.
And to make this even slicker, there's a built-in phone book. So an agent doesn't need a Post-it note with 100 extensions stuck to their monitor. They can just search for Casey in escalations, find her, and start the transfer. It's one of those small details that makes a massive difference in day-to-day efficiency.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the CTI bridge, that integrated desktop, the smart screen pops, the seamless transfers, what's the actual payoff? What does this complete toolkit really get you in the end?
It really boils down to this. You get agents who are fully informed from the very first second of the call. You get workflows that shave those precious seconds off of every single interaction by automating all the manual clicks. You get these seamless handoffs where context is never, ever lost. And when you add all that up, you get the one thing that matters most: a better, faster, and way less frustrating experience for your customer.
And this kind of brings us to a final, really interesting question to think about. When you use a system like PegaCall to handle all the tedious, repetitive stuff, the data lookups, the data entry, gathering all the context, it frees up the human agent's time and mental energy. So what new value can they now bring to the conversation? Maybe it's more empathy, more creative problem solving, or just a more genuine human connection. Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.